If your shots look like this, or in general you're just having a difficult time kicking the ball, you have found the right episode, because today we're looking at 5 of the most common things beginners do wrong when trying to shoot a ball. Now obviously the boring simple answer is to just say you need to practice more, but I'm not gonna let you go that easily. Let's get started. Number 1, wrong contact area on the ball, and especially not knowing what you're trying to do and how to get to the desired end result. Now, in order for you to understand the importance of the contact area on the ball, you just need to understand the basic laws of physics. Obviously, if you hit the ball extremely low, it will fly in the air. If you hit the top of the ball, it will roll on the ground, and if you hit the ball on either one of the sides, you will get some curve. But the problems start happening, and this is where most of the beginners get it wrong, when you try to achieve something but you're doing the exact opposite in action. If you're trying to kick the ball very long and very high, but you can't seem to get it off the floor, obviously you're hitting the ball way too high. And in my opinion, the contact area on the ball is one of the most important things when it comes to achieving a nice shot. That's why even a robot leg can put the ball into the top bins. So make sure you understand what you're trying to achieve and how your contact on the ball will affect the end result. Number 2, leaning back too much. Similar to the previous point, it's extremely important for you to understand how the rest of your body also affects the outcome of your shot. And especially leaning back way too much, which is unfortunately something beginners do a lot when trying to kick the ball. Now, leaning back too much when approaching to shoot the ball will obviously steer the ball to go way over the goal or way above the heads of your teammates. And even if that actually doesn't happen, leaning back too much eats all the power away from your shots because you're in an extremely awkward position. What you want to do instead is to make sure to put your chest and your upper body over the ball like this. That will at least help you in keeping the ball low and make sure that you maintain a certain amount of power on your shots. And I would go as far as saying that it's impossible for you to lean over the ball too much. Have a look at a few clips when Cristiano Ronaldo is shooting the ball. His upper body is extremely aggressively over the ball. Next up, we have a bad run-up, aka a bad way of approaching the ball. Now, similar to the importance of the contact area on the ball, unfortunately, a lot of beginners take a run-up to the ball that doesn't support the outcome they are trying to achieve. If the camera is my target and I'm planning on inside curving the ball, obviously, I don't want to take a run-up that's in a complete straight line. That will make executing the technique very difficult. I'm sure you get my point here. In general, you're always a little bit safer when approaching the ball from a bit of an angle depending on your target. Another bad thing a lot of beginners unfortunately do is trying to achieve a more powerful shot by just simply taking a much longer run-up. Now, taking a 10-meter run-up to the ball is never gonna help you. You're only gonna be focusing on your run and the power instead of the technique, which is something we're gonna talk about in just a little bit. But my best advice for almost all of you guys out there is that when you're out practicing by yourself, seriously, you can practice your shooting with a run-up as short as this. Number 4, bad foot action. Hear me out. Most of the beginners, for obvious reasons, have absolutely no idea how their foot is supposed to act when kicking the ball. And usually, when new people start practicing shooting, their toes are pointing upwards and the contact with the ball is a weird mix of a floppy ankle and a toe poke that usually looks like this. Yeah, it always ends in a disaster. The number 1 thing you want to avoid is a floppy and soft ankle. That will eat all the power away and your shots will look absolutely horrible. Instead, what you want to do is to make sure that your ankle is locked and firm, and you want to be able to hit the ball in as large of a surface area as possible. Now, locking your ankle will immediately make the shot more powerful. It will give a new life to the way you kick the ball. So no matter what you do, stay away from hitting the ball with your big toe. Stay away from shooting the ball with a floppy ankle. Instead, keep your ankle locked and firm, and your shots will improve in no time. And lastly, number 5, too much power, not enough technique, aka only focusing on trying to smash the ball with everything you've got instead of trying to master all the other aspects that are important in shooting the ball. Now, the issue with only focusing on power is that when you're just trying to kick the ball as hard and as long as possible, you're usually forgetting about all the other important aspects of kicking the ball, aka making sure your upper body is positioned correctly, making sure your ankle is locked, making sure that you're hitting the correct area on the ball in order to achieve the shot you're trying to do. And the simple advice here is to only focus on the technique, especially when you're out practicing by yourself. And honestly, I would go as far as saying that when you're out practicing by yourself, even positioning and the target or hitting the target is not important. The only thing that's important when you're practicing by yourself is mastering the technique. The power will come later. So that wraps it up for the 5 most common mistakes you should definitely avoid when shooting the ball. And my last extra piece of advice is to make sure that you never practice with flat footballs, because hopefully, at least in your matches, you are playing with balls that are properly pumped. And the reason you don't want to practice with flat balls is because the kicking sensation is obviously different when compared to properly pumped footballs. And with those words, it's time to wrap up today's episode. Let me know down in the comment section below what kind of videos you would like to see more here on Unisport Web TV. Subscribe to our channel, smash the like button if you had a good time. And with those words, I'm out.